Alright, dude, this video was really 17 hours. This is crazy. Listen to this. Neoness is one of the biggest people for Warframe trading videos and platinum trading, and he's one of the most intelligent people and gives people the best some of the best videos out there. And there's almost nobody on his level of like for YouTube videos about trading. And his last video was uploaded 2 months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 4 months ago. So you can see he hasn't been uploading like a lot, like some people where they upload every day or something. He's kind of been taking a little bit of a break from YouTube, not really a break, but like more spacing out his videos a little bit more. And then the 2 month break, like a 2 month break here, because he was doing it like once every couple weeks maybe, or once every week, and then he slowed down to like twice in 1 month, and then not any for 2 months, and then boom, he uploads a video. So this video upload is massive. We need to see this. We need to watch it. This is crazy. And especially because look at Warframe, farm these for platinum before it's too late. We need to do this now. Let's watch it.
And all the platinum videos, you probably have every idea in the world what the most important thing
Oh, it's sped up 1 second. 1.75.
to be doing in Warframe to make platinum right now is. But for those
Hold up. I'm gonna mute you for a second. Watch most of the video. Talk about it a little bit, and then you can give your you can give all your impressions and questions and everything after the I just in case I say something that answers your questions that you already have, or he says something, just to make it faster. All right. This will be speedrunning.
those of you that
Speedrun
are brand
teacher.
new, let me walk you through it. So, there's a guy here called a Naros, or he's not a guy, he's a hollow shell of a Warframe suit. But anyway, this is a Naros right here, and a Naros is the next frame to get vaulted.
True.
And why do we know this? We know this because, well, we've binged my other videos before, and this is how it works in Warframe. It's actually the way that it works. So, when a frame comes into the game for the first time, like a prime frame, it will be farmable for 18 months. Approximately 18 months.
18 months, that's a year and a half.
Has been farmable at this moment in time, as of me making this video, for approximately 17-ish months, maybe a week more, a week less, whatever the date is.
They're like less than a month.
That being said, that means that we are running out of time to collect Inaro sets.
Less than a month until
Why would we want to
Korra
collect
comes
Inaro
out.
sets? Check out this video right here, and I'll go into a lot more detail about it. But we want to collect Inaro sets. Short-term answer is because the longer we have these after Inaros has been vaulted, the more they're going to go up in price. Right now, if we jump over to, let's say, warframe.market, and we check our platform, it's going to be different for everybody's platform. So I'm pulling this over here. You guys can see that I'm on PC, but you could also check for PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Prices will vary depending on the platform because of that because of that console or platform's economy. But here we have a Naros Prime set. Currently going for 32, 32, 34, 34. These are not bad. I personally, towards the end of the life of any frames, just before it gets vaulted, these are normal numbers. And I totally recommend anybody that wants to buy anything like that, your goal is to shoot for 40 or less. I mean, especially if you're on PC. If we check out PS4, let's see what they're doing over there. We got 30s over here. It's probably easier to use this website on PC, which is why we're probably not seeing as many low offers on PS4. If we go to Xbox over here, we're going to see 59. There's definitely less people, definitely less console players are using this. But then there's Switch, and Switch I think could be a little different because
It's a little bit more expensive.
don't worry about it because it's not. Anyway, so
A little bit more.
we're just gonna go with PC prices.
Pretty
It's
bad.
Master Race, and why not? So we're looking at these prices. I totally recommend buying anything that's about to get vaulted for 40 plat or less. So 32 plat's pretty good. And why are we stocking up on these sets? Well, long story short, because the longer you hold on to a set after it's been vaulted and it's no longer farmable, you got to consider that there are more and more people joining this game every single day. Doesn't
Very
matter
true.
if the game's popular or not. Doesn't matter what game it is. There's always people joining all games. As long as the game still has the servers up and running and it's somewhat of a lively community, which we definitely have a lively community here in Warframe.
In my opinion, the majority of the people who are logged in on at any given time are people who have been playing for less than 2 weeks and who have no idea about trading. Like they don't know prices, etc.
It's not super busy of a Warframe
The
season.
majority of the players who are
Even
playing.
when it's not that busy,
I could be wrong, but
there are still tons and tons of people that are like brand new to the game, just started playing, and those
think about it like this: it's the people who play long term and get to end game and farm for hours and hours. There's less of them, right? There's more people who come play for a short amount of time and then immediately quit, and then or they come and they play for a short amount of time, then they stop, and then they come way later, play a tiny amount of time, and then they stop. And it's like all of those people that spend a short amount of time. There's so many of them, but because they spend a short amount of time, you're not gonna see them. You're not gonna see them repeatedly the same people, right? You're gonna see a bunch of different people. So all of these people, not all of them, but the majority of them, yeah, if they're trying to buy a Warframe set from Trade Chat and they don't have much time on their hands, but they do have platinum from job or whatever, then they might be willing to spend a lot extra in Trade Chat and save time, or even Anyways, let's keep going.
People are missing out on the opportunity. Like, think about it. If you joined the game today, you missed out on the opportunity to get probably close to 15 or 20 frames now at this point that have been like vaulted already. I don't remember the exact number, but there is definitely a juicy amount of them. So of all the frames that I just, of all the Inaros parts and stuff like that I just showed you that I had listed there, I want to kind of go over how you guys can get more other than just buying them off the website if you don't have any platinum.
I just sold a Redeemer set too.
What you can do is you could spend relics. You could use your relics. So if I type Naros Prime up here,
Easy.
basically gonna pull up every relic that I have
See,
that has an
what I would recommend is if you're going to be selling lots and lots of lots of things, flipping, buying, selling, what you should do is you should buy Warframe sets from Warframe Market, sell your weapon sets that you randomly get from farming into Warframe Market, since selling them in Trade Chat is kind of a little bit slower. Yeah, you could get more platinum from your weapons, but in my opinion, posting Warframes in Trade Chat all the time is the most valuable thing that you can do with your posts in Trade Chat.
Naros Prime parts.
That's why I sell weapons to
and
Warframe Market.
hopefully you guys wind up, like getting these parts now, or like having the relics for parts that you specifically need. But if you don't, I'm gonna walk you through kind of easily how you can do this. So basically, Axie relics, or I'll kind of break it down like this. We'll do it like this. Notepad, okay? This is all I want you guys to do. I'm not writing a lot. You don't have to take notes. Just blink a lot at the screen when I'm done writing this so your brain remembers it. So you take those photographic pictures. But we have Lith. We're looking at enemy levels of, let's say,
I'm sure.
anywhere from 0 to 15. For Meso, we're looking at enemy levels anywhere from 16 to 25. For Neo relics, we're looking at enemy levels anywhere from 26 to 35. And for Axie relics, we're looking at enemy levels anywhere from 36 and above. So this is kind of an idea as to where you can start getting relics from. Now, as far as like recommended mix,
if the mission type is in between these levels, these are like on the star chart naturally or whatever. These are the missions that can technically give these types of relics, but there's specific missions that are going to be meta, and that's the two captures in the void, one that gives Lith, the other one gives 50% Mesa or Neo. So it's like guaranteed relic you can get in like 40 seconds by running a quick capture. And then the Axie fastest way to do it is disruption on Lua, and he's probably going to explain that right now.
Missions, excavations are really good. I'm just gonna.
He's gonna.
I know most of you probably having a seizure because
The thing is he's most likely gonna talk about every type of mission that you can get relics from. But the meta, if you want to be fast and get relics really, really quickly, is to do the capture missions in the void for the Lith, the Meso and Neos, and then for Axies, go to Lua and do the disruption. And for the disruption, you either stay 2 rounds, or like if you have 4 people and you have a fast squad, you can stay longer as long as you want. But if you do it publicly and you don't get a full squad, you should leave by the second round, after the second round, because as soon as you do the 3rd and 4th round, you have less of a chance to get pure Axie relics, and you actually have a chance to get the Lua lens blueprint and the standing coin, the universal standing coin. So unless you want those drops with the axial, like unless you want to get like not an axial and get one of those drops instead sometimes, then you would want to extract on wave 2, like after wave 2 or round 2. But if you want those things, then you would want to stay till round 5 or 6, or just like keep going, but pretty much like, yeah.
You think you're in school again. So let's just go back to whatever it is. Go back to the star chart over here. Excavations, I definitely recommend. Survival missions, I definitely recommend. We'll just go up here. It's got all the good ones. Where are we? Assassination, not really so much. Survival, yes. Disruptions, definitely. You could probably bust these. I would take a disruption mission over a survival mission any day, because survival.
So yeah, you can get relics from all these different missions, but so if you have to complete these missions anyways, you can just do them and get maybe get a relic while you're doing them, and then whenever you want to farm relics really fast, you can go and do the stuff that I was talking about.
You have to be here.
Because like if you're progressing through the game, you can always get relics from just progressing through the game, which is really nice.
In order to get a chance of getting a relic, whereas these disruption missions, if you understood, first of all, if you don't like disruption missions, I promise you, you don't entirely get it, because these are probably one of the best types of missions to jump into the game.
They're really fun.
It is not. I think what a lot of you do is make the mistake that I first made when these came into the game, and you all start trying to kill a bunch of enemies that are surrounding the conduit. They can't break the conduit. The regular enemies, the ones that don't have bombs on them, that aren't blinking with a red light on them, they can't break the conduit, so you don't need to defend it against them. They can do nothing to it. So all you have to do is put a key in a conduit, play enough of these missions that you get an idea as to approximately where the enemy is going to spawn with the bomb, and just kill it before it gets to the conduit. If you get really good at doing this, you could potentially be done, especially, and if you have a team that knows what they're doing and everyone's working together, you potentially could be getting through like an entire round of disruption in like 30 to 45 seconds. If you all like know what's...
And like if you want some tips on how to do disruption easier, if you're struggling with disruption for any reason, Gloom is an ability that comes from Sevagoth, and if you sacrifice Sevagoth to the Hellman system, you can put Gloom on any Warframe, right? And so if you put Gloom on your Warframe that you're using, for example, like Wukong, then you can slow down the enemies whenever you activate it, and it'll also work on the enemies that blow up the conduit. So I would recommend using this, and then if you're using Wukong, you can go really fast. You can put this on his 4, and then use your 2 to go really fast and look around for where the enemy's going to spawn. But just make sure that you don't go too far away from the conduit where it's gonna explode because you can't hear it or something. And yeah, another thing that you can also use is there's a second thing that if you don't have the helmet system stuff, but you have access to this, you can get this. So let's check out the price of it right now really quickly. It is a Hunter platform max rank. So it's a little bit pricey, but at the same time, what this does is when you attach this to your operator, you're able to do a void dash, which will drop a little mine that tethers the enemies, up to 10 enemies even, in a 15-meter radius for 4 seconds. And you can do this repeatedly. So basically what you want to do is that as soon as you see the enemy that's going to explode the conduit, you swap to void mode, do a void dash or 2 around the enemy. You only really need to do it once, but if you want, you can do it a second time after. If for some reason you're unable to kill it in the first 4 seconds, you can always do it again. And this will literally completely it'll tie the enemy down and make them so that they can't run away anymore, and they can't go to the disruption thing and explode it. So using a combination of both this and the other thing, which was Gloom subsumed onto a Warframe, it basically sometimes enemies can take away your abilities. So even if Gloom is activated, and then enemies take it away, you can always swap to your operator to use lockdown to tie the enemy down, and then whenever you kill the nullifiers or whoever was taking your ability away, you can reactivate Gloom. So that's what I would recommend, like meta meta speedrunning. That's what I do. And make it and
plan tactics out.
I mean, it also makes it easier. So like you can go for a lot of rounds because you're able to like completely freeze the enemies.
There's totally ways to do that. But even if you don't do any of the planning and you're just doing it normally, like all like regular style, still 2 minutes, 2 to 2.5 minutes, and that's half the time of a survival. And you could just continuously be getting relics. So those.
If you don't have 4 people in your mission, it might take longer.
Defenses, but even when I speed through them with like a fast Nova, a Nova with a speed build on, or whatever, it still feels like it's about 4 to 4.5 minutes. I think disruptions and excavations.
You get your defense in like 3 minutes if you're really
like
fast.
My go-to for doing that.
Like speed Nova and a
one that's even
damage build
actually
on another Warframe.
better, and I recommend this super hardcore. Capture missions.
This is the meta.
I could run through a capture mission in literally under a minute.
So this mission will give you the Neo and Meso, and the other one, Hepit, gives you the Lith.
Does that happen
Guaranteed
every time?
relic every round.
And it probably isn't going to happen every time for you. And if anybody sits here and like, well, it happens for me every time. I use Wukong and I turn into a fart and I fly around in my cloud or whatever. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It doesn't happen every time. That's not how it works. I promise it doesn't. Same thing with Titania or whatever. But could it happen? Yeah. Every time? You're being lied to. It doesn't happen.
Wait, what is he talking about? Say that again.
I could run through a capture mission in literally under a minute. Does that happen every time? No. And it probably...
He said, does that happen every time? No. Okay, well, if you're using Wukong or something else, maybe it isn't. But if you're using a Titania speed build and you get like decent at doing it or whatever, yeah, you can literally run a capture mission in under 40 seconds consistently if you're just decent at it. I got like with my Titania setup, I've been able to do it that fast. So, maybe some people aren't at the start, but eventually if you practice, you get the right build, you learn how to control the speed with fast Titania, you'll be able to do it and you'll be chilling.
It's going to happen every time for you. And if anybody sits here and like, well, it happens for me every time. I use Wukong and I turn into a fart and I...
Yeah, if you're using Wukong, you might not be able to do it every single time, but you will still be able to do it like quite a bit. But if you're using a fast Titanium build and you actually practice a little bit, yes, you can 100% do it in under a minute every time. That's no cap. The only time when it doesn't work is when the capture turns into an extermination and you have to abort, or the mission for some reason is extremely long, but that rarely happens. Usually, like even then, the maximum amount of time it's going to take you is probably a minute. Max.
Like, fly around in my cloud or whatever. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It doesn't happen every time. That's not how it works. I promise it doesn't. Same thing with Titania or whatever. But could it happen? Yeah. Every time? You're being lied to. It doesn't happen every time, but it could happen.
Not every single time technically, because once every like so often you'll have it where you kill a capture target and then tells you to do an extermination. That during those times, that's when it fucks you over. Or when you're just like not as good with Titania yet, or you're not just, like if you're not on PC and you're not practicing and playing a lot with Titania's fast speed mode, maybe you're not able to do it, but yeah, I think he's capping right now. I swear, he's gotta be capping, bro. What the fuck?
Anyway, a minute to a minute and 15 seconds, approximately, is how long I can run these. As a Gauss, like, not flying through the levels, but maybe just speeding through the levels, because it's Gauss, or whatever. But anyway.
Like, maybe if you're newer and stuff, yeah, you're not gonna be able to do it.
Another way you guys can get relics is literally, all of you should have a syndicate, 2 syndicates at least that you're on.
I need to get a little bit
You should be wearing a sigil on your back, your front, wherever. You should have one of these sigils of whatever syndicate you're a part of on. Why? Because that sigil gives you standing passively. Just by you doing missions in the game that aren't related to these, you having that syndicate sigil on gets you standing. So every single day, I am burning through my 32,000 standing daily cap here as I play the game. And I'm literally just accumulating standing for both my syndicates. And then I go into my syndicates, I go to my view offerings, and here, I can buy a relic pack. This gives me 3 relics.
Yeah,
so a lot of the relics that you guys saw that I had earlier in the video, they all came from this. I literally do this every day as I come here and I buy these. That's another way to do it. You could also get those these relic.
Bro, I'm sorry, I'm only speeding up the video because I have to go pee super bad.
Arbiters of Hexus might have it. That would be Vitus Essence. There's like so many various things you guys can be doing in this game to be accumulating relics, not just by doing the mission for the relics, but like extra as well. And a lot of you might be thinking, oh, I'll get into trade chat though, and I'll just spend a lot of platinum on buying relics. I don't